Today we're going to work on the third installment in my series of Pong games, or in my series of making a Pong game. Anyways, let's go ahead and oh, you should open up Ponger 2. We're going to use that as a starting point. I'm going to go ahead and do save as. And I already have a Ponger 3, so you're gonna save Ponger 2 as Ponger 3, okay? And if you don't mind, I'm just gonna call it Ponger 3A because I already have a Ponger 3 elsewhere. Okay, then let's go and change the comment up here to the title is now Ponger 3. And then also let's add a comment, a hashtag, to say that we're going to be adding a scoreboard to this app. So real quickly, in case you don't remember where we left off, you might want to try playing Ponger 2 before we make any modifications. I'm going to go ahead and hit run, and I'm going to, oops, I already screwed up. Let's try it again. There we go. And then I'm going to use WASD to move the left paddle, my arrows to move the right paddle. And so far the game really, there is no game. It's just kind of, you know, can we keep the ball in motion for some period of time? Good things are happening, but there is no score. So what we're going to do today is we're going to add the scoreboard. Let's take a look at some things that we might need. First of all, let's go ahead and create the labels that effectively make the scoreboard. I'm going to call the left one LT score label, and that will be equal to a label, and we'll start off with a value of 0. If we started, a lot of times when we make labels, we usually have quotes around whatever we're putting in there. But if we do this for the 0, then we won't be able to do math with it. And we'd like to be able to add 1 to this. So I'm going to start off with just the number 0, then comma, and that's the value of the label. And then we'll put that at X is 180, so kind of in the middle of the screen, and Y will be 20, so near the top of the screen, and then we'll make size equals 30 to make sure it's really big. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit run so you can see there's the label, and I guess that looks okay, right? We can always modify it if we don't like it. And then to save myself some effort, I'm going to go ahead and copy this line of code. So the way I do it is I hold the shift key and then hit the down arrow, and then that entire line is highlighted. Then Control C or Command C if you're on a Mac, and then I move the up and down arrows around, and so I can then do Control V or Command V if you're on the Mac. And now that I've copied it, we'll make that into the right score label. And you'll see that if I hit run, we only see one label. That's because I got to change the X value for the right score label. Let's make that like 220, and then we'll hit run, and then we have the 2 labels. Now, the next thing is we'd probably like to update the scores for those 2 labels. And we will do that whenever the ball goes off the right-hand side or the left-hand side. Let me go ahead and add some code here. We're going to say at the very bottom, we're going to say, actually, let me make sure this is at the top of the screen so it's easy for you to see. You don't have to do that. I'm just doing it for you. We'll say if ball.right is greater than 400. In other words, if the right hand side of the ball, where is the ball? Can I do this and pause it? I'm gonna hit, let me go ahead and just put a pass in here for now, so that I can run this code. Run and then pause. So the right hand side of the ball is over here, and what I want to check to see is, did it move past the right hand side of the screen? Remember, the canvas for X goes all the way to the right is 400 and all the way to the left is 0. Okay, so anyways, so we're going to check to see if ball.right is greater than 400, and if it is, then we would like to increase the score for the left player. So that'll be left score label, and we will do plus equals 1. And then we'll do a similar thing. Before I do it, why don't you hit pause and see if you can see if you can figure out how to check to see if the ball goes off the other side of the screen, and then give the score to the appropriate player. Go ahead and hit pause. I'm going to assume that you did, and I'm going to go ahead and get started again right now. Okay, so here's what you do. If you didn't know how to do it, I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to check to see if the ball dot left is less than 0. And if it is, I will increase the right score label plus equals 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and check and see how this code works so far. So I'm going to go ahead and try to defend, and we'll defend. I always like to check both things, that the defending is working and that the score works when you let a ball go past. Okay, so already it has a problem. It doesn't like this. Ball cannot access right score label, left score label. Why not? Oh, because in order to change the left score label value, we have to do dot value. And we have to do the same thing down here. If you beat me to the punch on that one, good for you. Good job. I'm going to go ahead and try it again. Make sure that I'm blocking okay. Can I block okay on both sides? Yes, I can block okay on both sides. And the scores don't go up. Oops. Okay. Now I can see that there's a real problem there. Okay. Notice that the score for the after the ball went off the right side, the score for the left player went out of this world. I would love it if you could just take a minute, hit pause, and think about what you would do to solve this problem. Okay. In a minute, we're going to come back and then I'm going to show you what I think we could do to fix it. Okay, I'm hopeful that you paused the video and you gave it some thought, and who knows, maybe you came up with a fix. Here's what I think we're going to do. I think the problem that we're having is because the ball is going off the right-hand side of the screen. And so what we're going to do is instead of just increasing the score when the ball goes off the right-hand side of the screen, we're also going to reset the ball position. Now, again, pause the video, see if you can remember how to do this yourself. Okay, I'm going to show you how. Here we go. If you didn't beat me to it, here's how to do it. To reset the ball position, we are going to say ball dot center X. And we could do ball dot left or right, whatever you want, but ball dot center X also works. And I'm going to set that to the middle of the screen, just like it was at the beginning of the game. And we'll do the same thing for the Y, ball dot center Y equals 200. And we have to do both of those for if the ball goes off the other side. So let me try this. There we go. We'll do it for both sides, and that should keep the score from going crazy. We should only get 1 point when the ball passes one side. So let's see what happens here. My block, so far when I block, there are no scores. Sometimes that's not the case. Okay, okay. So 1 point was scored on the right and 1 point was scored on the left. Okay, great. Okay, so I have a pretty warm fuzzy that fixed that situation. Now, there is another problem that we're going to run into. And the other problem is that when the ball goes off the screen, we reset the ball position, but we don't reset the ball speed. And the problem is that the ball speed is going faster and faster and faster. And what we don't want is for after like 2 or 3 points, for neither player to be able to stop a ball, okay? So what we'll do is we'll slow things down every time the ball goes off the screen. And again, I'm going to let you investigate that for a minute. Hit pause on the video, look at the code, see if you can figure out where the change needs to be made. And when you come back, I'm going to tell you. Okay. I'm going to show you where I think we should make the change. We could make the change in ball.dx or ball.dy, but I like the idea of making the change in ball.speedChange because, and let me think about this. Is that going to be good enough? Ooh, you know what? I think we're going to have to do all three because not only do we want the ball dot speed change to go back to its original value, but we do want the ball dot dx and ball dot dy to go back to their original value. Otherwise, we will be, yeah, we will be starting over with speeds too high. So I guess what I'll do is I'll take all this, and I'm going to copy all this code, and we're going to paste it in down here. Now, I wonder if I could save myself a little bit of time by making that into a function. Interesting. How about, ooh, I like this idea. We could just go and paste it down here like such. There's nothing, no shame in this. I'll go ahead and highlight this and then hit the tab key twice. That could work. But the thing is, look at all the stuff that's happening. We're doing all of these things twice. So I'm going to go ahead and up here, I'm going to go ahead and set ball dot center x equal to 200 and ball dot center y equal to 200. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this into a function that I can call anytime. And we're going to call this reset ball. And we won't say position because it's speed as well as position. Oops, it's going to be a function. So def reset ball. And I don't think we need to give it a parameter. And then what I'll do is I'll just highlight these lines of code and hit the tab key once. And now I've got a function called def reset ball. Now, that needs to be done at the very beginning. So before I do anything else, I'm going to call that function to make sure that that code actually runs. And then down here, we'll get rid of all this. And if for some reason I decide that resetting the ball needs to do other stuff, I can go up there and change it all in one place instead of having to do everything twice. Okay, so I'm going to put reset ball here also. Okay, great. Now, now you probably wouldn't have even noticed had we not made that change unless you went and tried playing. If you tried playing against yourself, you would have noticed that it gets really too hard to play the game after making points. So I'm going to go ahead and let a point score, and then I'm going to bounce one over and let another point score. And basically what the deal is every time a point is scored, we go back to a relatively easy level of play. And of course, since you are writing the code for this, you can change it around and make it do whatever you want. If you have lightning fast reflexes like I do not, then feel free. Just make it so that it goes super fast all the time. Okay, so we've done a pretty good job. We've now got a scoreboard, and we've made it so that you can actually play a game and that the score is kept properly and the game does not become outrageous as you're playing it. Let me see if there's anything else that I was thinking I'd like to do. All right, there is something else I'd like to do, and it's not too difficult, so we're going to throw it in here. What I'd like to do is I'd like to add the ability to let the players know that somebody won. So I'm going to make up a label called left wins, and it will look something like this. And let's see here. We will put that in the center of the screen. And we'll set the size equal to 30. And what else? Initially, we'll make it visible equals false. Now, I'd like to do that for if the right side wins. And I don't feel like redoing all that, so I just copy and paste. Then we'll do the right side wins. And we'll change this to right side wins. And and it doesn't matter that the two positions are exactly the same because only one is going to show up. Now down here what we'll do is we'll add some code to check to see whether the right side wins, and then we'll display the label, and we'll check to see whether the left side wins, and then we'll add the label. Now before I go and show you how to write that code, why don't you pause the video, see if you can do it on your own. Okay, I'm assuming that you paused the video, so I'm going to spoiler. Here we go. Let's see here. If what do we got to check? We got to check to see if we're storing the scores in left score label and right score label. So we're going to check to see if left score label is greater than equal to whatever we want the highest winning score to be, or whatever we want the winning score to be. I think like in a game of ping pong, I think you go to like 11, maybe 21. We're going to set it to 11 so the game doesn't go on forever. So if the left score label equals 11, then at that point we would like to display the left wins label. That'll be LT wins dot visible equals. I was gonna say maybe you should pause it and see if you remember, but this one's so easy. Now that I've said dot visible, you're probably gonna know. Set that equal to true. Notice that I use two equal signs to check to see what the score, to see if left score label is 11, and I only use one equal sign to set visible equal to true. In general, we use two equal signs to check, and we use one equal sign to set something equal to something. Okay, now you may notice that there's a slight error in the code here. I hope you noticed. And it is that we can't just check to see if left score label equals 11. We have to check the dot value. Okay, so that should be pretty good. That'll show a message that says that the left player won. Let's copy that and paste it, and let's just make the same for the right. If the right score label gets to 11, then right wins, visible equals true. Now, this is not perfect, but we're getting pretty close to the end here. I'm going to go ahead and hit run. And, oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to pause the video for this. Let's see here. Never mind. I'm not going to pause the video. I'll let you guys check this out and double check and make sure it works. What I would like to do, though, is this. I would like to make it so that you'll notice if you go and try the code as it is right now, you'll notice that I think the ball still goes back to the center of the screen, and you can still play even though one player has won. So we're going to do something to make it so that the game stops. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to come up here and we're going to add to ball a property, a custom property. We're going to say ball.gameOver, and we're going to set that equal to false initially, because when you start, the game's not over, right? Okay, so we'll do that. And then what we'll do is we'll only have all this on-step stuff do something if the game is not over. So what we're going to do is highlight all. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put in the code at the very beginning. I'm going to say if ball.gameOver is equal false, then we can do all this stuff. Now, in order to make it so that all this stuff is part of that if, I have to highlight all the lines and hit the tab key one time. And if I do that, all of this will be part of that if statement. Now, the other thing is I need to make sure that if somebody wins, we got to stop the game. And the way we'll do that is if we know that somebody's winning, then we're going to say ball.gameOver equals true. And we'll do the same thing down here. Ball.gameOver equals true. In other words, if one player wins the game, then we should stop all activity. And this will definitely stop the ball from moving. So I think that's pretty good. My only concern is what happens if the game stops and the ball is off the screen? Do I screw up? I think that'll be okay. I think we got it. Okay, so that's 20 minutes of video, so I'm going to call it quits. We got an awful lot done in that period of time, and I'm not sure. This might be the final installment of Ponger. I'll give it some thought and see what I could add. Maybe you could tell me if you'd like me to add something. Anyways, for now, good luck. Get this done. Show me the save it. And if you haven't saved it already, make sure you save as Ponger 3, not Ponger 3A. and then also call me over, show me, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments regarding the code.